Do you understand what UX is?
You mean UI UX?
Yeah, is there a difference? Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Catalyst. I'm Dheeraj Kamath and I'm here with my co-host KST. And if you're someone who is into UI or UX design, and if you'd like to pursue a career in UI and UX, then this is the right place to be. Before we welcome our guest, I just want to ask, do you understand what UX is?
You mean UI UX?
Yeah, is there a difference?
Like you're asking like a software developer. I mean, I don't know. I think does it involve coding? I don't know. Do you write any code? I'm not sure. But UI is what you see. So I think it's not front end. I know it's not front end. But it's something I don't
what
know.
do you mean
actually.
it's not front end? If you say it's something that you see, isn't it front end?
Don't get into details. I don't know. I mean, a separate front-end engineer, no? So it's not the same job.
I mean, yeah. In software, we
Yeah.
call it front end, back end. But I don't even know if those terms exist.
Yeah, I think UI, UX is probably how you want the user to see things and how you want the user to perceive things, I guess. But that's all I know. So I guess you need to be good at like art and stuff.
I mean, I think so. I think you have to be creative. I think that's a given. But the way I think about UX is, like how a mother would say, in childhood, when you have to eat something, right? You should eat it this way, okay?
Okay.
Instead of eating it this way.
What do you mean? Does it make sense? What do you mean?
See, I'll tell you. Listen to me.
Yeah.
Basically, whenever you're given food, right? There's an easy way to do things, okay? Which is taking your hand straight to your mouth, okay? And there's obviously the wrong way to do things, which is taking your hands, twisting it around your head, and then eating it, okay?
Okay.
So user experience is basically making it easy. So you eat it this way.
So you have to say all that to say this.
I think we should stop embarrassing ourselves and welcome our guest. So everyone, put your hands together for Chandana Kashyap. So she's a UI UX designer who's been in the Bay Area for almost 2 years now. And she's gonna tell us how much we deviated from what UI UX is. So yeah, Chandana, what's UI UX?
So for starters, UI and UX are not the same thing. So y'all got that right. And UI is obviously something that you see. And UX is the entire experience of it. So the broader term here is UX. UI is a small part of the UX. UX, the full form is user experience. And the full form of UI is user interface. And about the front-end, back-end engineers that y'all spoke about, these terms still exist. I collaborate with front-end engineers. So day in, day out, the most frequently interacted folks in my teams or at work or wherever I am, it is the front-end engineers. Because they are the ones who implement my designs. So we designers, we normally use softwares like Adobe XD, Figma, or there are even some Sketch, Balsamic, and a few other things. So once the design is made, it is handed over to the front-end folks. And they execute it on using multiple tools, like React is the most common one.
Okay, this is something we understand, I feel. Like React, all those Angular, JS, like software.
I don't,
stuff.
but okay.
Yeah, network engineer, okay. Sorry, but okay. So you are a UI designer or UX designer?
I'm a UX designer, and I would like to call myself that because if the UX is seamless, the UI will obviously look seamless too, because it's everything put together. So UX overall, it talks about, or it covers how people interact with a product, or how people interact with a service, or how people interact with a digital product. The product could be tangible or digital. Yeah.
Okay, for example, let's take KR Market.
Okay, oh my God. Okay.
Now, if you're just seeing KR Market from outside, that's like how you see it. It's like UI.
Of course.
But then you walk through it.
Yeah.
You go to different vendors. Like that's an entire experience.
Yep.
So that's like a user experience.
Yeah.
So you basically design who sits where, who sells where, etc.
That, and also I would design the experience, how to get from point A to point B.
Okay.
Within KR market.
Okay. Now, front-end engineers are people who, okay, like back-end engineers are people who are getting products into the market
Yes,
and all that.
precisely.
But front-end engineers are people who are actually selling and sitting in places, like they decide what goes where, etc.
So front end kind of is the person who ensures that all of these particular spaces go to a particular seller.
Got it. You just make sure people know how to go from point A to point B in the market.
Yes. Because obviously KR market, it's like stalls keep changing.
Yeah,
so that is an art by itself.
Okay.
And obviously, since it's really chaotic, you can't really trust the visuals here.
Okay.
So since if you are a regular commuter or a visitor to KR market, you exactly know where things are.
Okay.
So this brings me to another example. Like even though an application or a platform is very badly designed, you know your way out. You know your way in and way out through it. One of the classic examples in the US that we take is Craigslist. It's really badly designed, but you know what to do with it. You know what to get out of it. You just go, get your work done and come back. And also there's another like running joke in the UX community that however hard you're trying to beat the competitors of the product you're designing or the application you're building, you're essentially fundamentally beating Excel. Because Excel is the most familiar application to everybody.
Okay.
So if somebody asks you to redesign something or make this better, could you do this? Could you do that? They're essentially asking us to emulate Excel in one form or the other.
So when you say Excel, you're talking on Microsoft Excel.
Yes.
Yeah, not Excel.
Precisely.
Okay. Good.
Microsoft Excel,
I'm
yes.
just making sure it's not different in UI UX world.
It's MS Excel, bro.
MS Excel. So MS Excel, in your opinion, is a good product or no?
Well, things are in its place. And when it comes to the user's perspective, it's something almost everybody knows how to use or operate in some degree. For example, I use Excel to like segregate data, record data, make tables or things like that. But there are power users of Excel, like our parents, our grandparents, or not grandparents, parents, like especially our dads. Like they do like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and all of that. And I'm like, I don't know how those functionalities work. I just use it for whatever I can use it for.
So there's some simplicity when it comes to the software.
Exactly, simplicity.
So at what point do you trade off the simplicity to make it more visually appealing and all that? Because Excel, when you look at it, it's just plain, right? So
yeah, it's really plain. So that's where UX comes in. Like we strike a balance between functionality and aesthetics.
Okay. So basically, for me, when I look at Excel, like I'm using it and all of that, like the functionality, whatever I want to do, I'm getting that done. So why do I need a UX designer?
A UX designer in this case, more than just beautifying your application or enhancing your experience, there are much more ways that a UX designer or just practicing UX in a company can impact you. Like the business impact is huge. Like you never know all the teams you'll be impacting. Like for example, the client I work for, I support the UX work and the scalability for their tech support team. So the kind of impact that I'll be creating is, reducing redundant call time, or if the agent here wants to go through the application to retrieve some piece of information for the person calling them, they may have to go through 4 to 5 clicks in the application, and that is a lot of time taken.
Okay.
So UX, what they do here is they analyze the patterns, they understand the kind of frequently dealt with issues by the agents, and then we optimize the workflows and we simplify the information out there.
When you say agents, is it users of the application or something else?
Yeah, I mean, I said agents because I'm supporting the technical support agents here.
Okay.
So with context, I said it. So so in this case, it can be the user.
Okay.
So along with looking seamless, it also ensures the placement of information in, like similar information to be placed in together and in a very familiar yet novel flow.
So basically, they track our data, bro.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
to find patterns.
I'm an open book anyways. Everybody knows anything about me. So
You know, Chrome tracked the browser history
What?
even when you went incognito.
Oh my God.
Is that part of the user experience?
See, I cannot control what the product teams have their policies on their applications, but from UX, we are responsible to place privacy related disclaimers up front. If you see
Okay.
the message on incognito window that tells you what you'll be getting out of the incognito window, if you observe one of the messages, it says you might still be visible to your
Yeah.
internet service provider,
Correct.
your employer maybe, or like different parties. So even though incognito is still a feature, it doesn't guarantee full privacy. So it's our job to display everything up front.
why do you use an incognito tab for?
Whatever you are using. I'll tell you.
Yeah, tell.
This answer you would not have expected.
It's fine.
When you are booking flight tickets.
Same, bro.
Yep, flight
What I
tickets,
mean,
that's
what
about
I
it.
use for. I don't know what do you say. Yeah. When you were talking about like that, striking that balance between aesthetically appealing and functionality.
Mm-hmm.
So can you give me an example of maybe something in the Indian geometry box that is aesthetically appealing but is functionally bad?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Aesthetically appealing and functionally bad.
Set square.
Yeah, I was just about to think that. Set square. Yes. I'm just like, to this date, if the most vivid memory I have of my geometry box is a blackened out protractor with like scratches maybe, and an extremely overused compass and a divider, and perfectly clean set squares.
Yes.
I'm like, to this day, I don't understand how how people use a set square. Like, that's also one more thing. Like, now that you brought up geometry box, like there may be a bunch of tools that are given to you, but it's up to the user how they use it. Like, there are days where I forget my scale and I use my set square as a scale substitute. It still works.
Oh yeah, actually that's how I use my set square. Now that I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost my scale.
This brings me to another topic called unintended design or thoughtless acts. This is something we study as designers.
Oh, is this like a case study? Whatever you're talking about?
No?
Okay.
No case studies here. But yeah, so thoughtless acts are basically something like, there may be an appliance or a device or something, some behavior of yours that you do, or something you use that's intended for one purpose, but you end up using it for another purpose. So that is a thoughtless act. So we study that in design as well, so that we try to think of different use cases where our product or service can be used apart from its actual purpose. Because everything like the users want everything like everything in one place. So that's why that's also something we study. And unintended design is basically, I'll give you an example. Like when you were kids, when there's like an open door and you do all monkey stuff and then keep going up and then keep coming down. Like you make a gym sort of environment at home with like all of these open doors and like a bunch of like different furniture. So that's unintended design. That that door will be designed for something else, but that cavity is something you end up using for like different things.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Like putting a pencil in, tying up your hair using a pencil. So it's normally like a chopstick or some other fancy glass stick that you can get, but you use a pencil to do it.
You can't predict all these things.
You
right?
can't
Like,
predict.
Some of the things, I think humans are very strange. That
Oh,
way. You
yeah.
give them something,
I just thought it was
they'll
cute
figure out.
to do it.
Huh?
I just thought it was cute to do it. Put a pencil for a hair. But
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Someone does that and then removes it like and falls.
Yep. So
Yeah.
we study even these as well. And the most classic example, the way Indians, how our moms and dads repurpose items at home. That
Exactly.
is the most
Yes.
classic example of
I
a
know.
thoughtless act.
Yeah.
There's like a Bornvita dabba at home. And then you'll find like pickle or some chutney pudi or something like that.
Yes.
I'm
how
like,
many times I've gone like with that, that asse will be there. Like,
Exactly.
like you'll go open. I mean, even the last time when I went to India, I think there was that. You get this thing called wafu or something. It's just it's
Wafu?
woofu?
Yeah. I don't know the spelling.
Okay.
It's just that brown, or you get strawberry or chocolate flavored. And then you get like sticks, choco sticks kind of thing that are inside. It's called wafu, I think.
Okay.
It was there in the fridge. I went, like, first day I landed in India. I was like, let's go. Okay. I went and I opened it. You know, like, take a guess. Like ginger garlic paste.
Oh my.
And then the strawberry one has tamarind paste. Like, you know.
Ay.
And then even there's a classic example of sweets box having like tail ring, mom's tail ring.
Oh my
equipment,
God.
Right? Like,
It traumatizes me even to this day.
yeah, I mean, they're legends, bro.
So-
Whatever they
I
do.
know, yeah. I think we make do with whatever little's there. I think US has spoiled us that way.
What do you mean? You don't
I think
repurpose
things are so convenient, and because we have the money to buy things,
Yeah.
for the slightest inconvenience, we go and order something on Amazon.
Yeah.
Or run to the closest Safeway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we could have done this on our phone, but we ordered this mic here. So
Of course.
This, I think, it's a good purchase. Come on.
why are you holding it like that?
I mean, it's a deal to me. It's a family friendly show, guys.
My God.
Moving on, another thing we know about you is your dog mom.
Yeah.
I mean, dog sister or dog mom. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I would like to say that I'm a dog sibling, or
Okay.
I'm a part of my dog's pack, basically. The reason why I'm saying
Dog's pack.
the reason why I'm
Okay.
saying pack is because dogs are low-key related to wolves in one form or the other. Like the closest wild creature that you associate with a dog is a wolf.
Okay.
So all of these wolf-like creatures exhibit pack behavior.
We are
Okay.
wolf pack.
Oh yeah. So my dog Snoopy, he treats us all as a part of his pack. So I'm a part of his pack.
Nice. How do you know that? But
How do I know that? We've seen Snoopy over the years exhibit certain behaviors, and we were very confused. We thought it was funny, we thought it was amusing, and we thought it was something he did to seek attention. But we actually Googled it, and those are some pack behaviors that he exhibited.
Like what, rubbing heads and all that?
No.
Tail.
No, that is.
No.
I mean, tail is like, that's a characteristic feature, like how you
Okay.
can let your how the dog lets you know that he's okay around you, or you are approved by him.
Okay.
Yeah. So pack behavior, like for example, what wolves or packs of dogs do is, like when one of their mates are like defecating, they guard them, because that's when you're the most vulnerable to predators. So over the years, we observed Snoopy even do one more thing. Like when we go to the bathroom and shut the door, he guards us. He sits there. He scratches the door. He barks, and he exhibited this behavior for a while. Then we looked it up and we realized, right, this is pack behavior he's showing. So I found that super cool, and I sobbed for like 5 full minutes after that. And
What if he's just lonely? What if he's just lonely, he has nothing else to do, so he's just waiting?
oh
What
yeah,
if-
that also.
Because I feel if there's one more dog, then you'll be playing or doing something. You think it's bad behavior, maybe. But what if he's like, I'm just lonely now, I have
Yeah.
nothing else to do.
Of course, that's a very good point you brought up, because dogs, as they age, it could either be a personality characteristic or a breed characteristic. They develop separation anxiety.
Oh.
It's like it's a combination of age, breed, and the circumstances that it's around.
I don't know. I'm thinking I'll adopt a dog next year. Seriously.
I'm also lovely, bro.
See, dogs will give you that undivided attention.
Mm.
Whenever you need them, they're there. You're not there. You'll be whatever you said in the last episode. You'll be going to big cities, dating, all of this. Then really you'll not come.
So how prepared are you to adopt a dog?
I mean, like the podcast, I don't think we're prepared for anything.
That's fair. That's a fair thing to say.
Yeah. So I think, we'll just see how it goes day to day. Learn.
Is it like a trial before you make a baby or something?
They say first you get a fish, or basically you start with the plant, then you get a fish, then you get a dog. So that's how you advance to a baby.
Bad analogy, guys.
Hey, I've heard people do that. That's how they learn how to.
Yeah, that's true.
Keep something alive, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
I think all my plants die. I say I should not do anything.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You feel like a failure when the one plant you try to keep dies.
Like all you have to do is water it once in a week. That too, I get indoor plants so that they don't even need sunlight.
But they still die?
I mean, I think one is doing fine. After I got indoor plants, they're little surviving even though I don't do much. But outdoor plants are like, Jai, by now. Like,
Don't tell me it's a cactus or something.
No,
That's why
no,
it's
no.
alive. That's one plant. Like,
oh wait, cactus basically is low maintenance. So?
Yeah.
Doesn't need water, nothing. You
Even
just leave it.
succulents are low
Yeah.
maintenance.
It's like us, basically.
Oh my God, guys.
But yeah, I think I have to master the art of keeping a plant alive first.
Yes.
Fish and all I eat, bro. Fish I can't like. I mean, not the pet fishes, but
Okay.
the tilapia and all that.
You would have eaten a fish. Yeah. What did you say?
You eat seafood, no?
Yeah, but what did you say? I think I didn't catch
No,
that.
I said fish and all I eat, so I don't know if I'll have the same emotion when I'm raising one.
What do you say about that?
Let's say you're growing a chicken at home. Will you eat a chicken outside after that?
Good point.
I think I love biryani too much. Like,
I-
I would not eat it in front of the chicken.
Oh my God.
I would still eat it.
Let's say
And it's
you
back.
order chicken biryani home. You're raising one hen there. In front of it, you eat and eat.
No,
eat
in
that
front
chicken.
of it I won't eat. That's what I'm saying.
But you'll go out and eat,
No, I'll go into my bedroom and eat.
and you won't feel bad about it.
No, bro.
Like that chicken in your hand
Hmm.
is similar to the one in your other
See, I'll
space.
tell you, biryani has been there in my life for a long time. In my lowest times, biryani has been there. Chicken, it's just been in my life for whatever, 1 or 2 months.
Okay.
So, see, basically, I want to adopt a dog next
Sure.
year in the US.
Awesome.
You adopted your dog in India. So, how is it different? Is it different here? Are there laws here? Because I hear there are like laws behind a pet. They have to
So many of them.
pay a lot and all that.
Yeah, there are so many laws here. Like, in fact, my roommates keep joking and my fiance keeps joking. I want to be born as a golden retriever in an American family because they elevate the stature of the dog to such an extent that this depends from state to state. But just saying, like, they elevate the status so much, like, you'll be taken care of. Like, you don't have to worry. You'll have dual income parents mostly.
Yeah.
Or you'll even have a butler taking care of you. And then probably there's a website that your parents make, and there'll be merch with your face attached to it, and you'll be making money.
American families spend most of their money on their pets,
Yep, absolutely.
according to studies.
So you're
I
telling
mean,
me.
I'm not saying it simply. I've actually read it somewhere.
So if you're telling me I should get like a sugar mommy or something,
You're a pet, no?
I'll become a pet then, no?
But you have to get an American household. Like you have to,
American sugar mommy.
American chick.
or any family in any country that has very good regulations and laws for pet animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, here I've heard like taking care of a dog is almost as equivalent to taking care of a kid.
Absolutely.
Like because apparently you can't leave a dog alone in the car for more than some time.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have to lower the windows. there's
Yeah.
Yeah,
some
I don't know
stuff
what
like
the
that.
scene is at home. Like I don't know if you can leave the dog for a long time at home and go. I don't know who regulates all that, but
yeah.
it's like a kid. So it's
Yeah.
like I know a lot of my friends who if they have to travel somewhere, they find someone to take care of the dog. Even if they're going out for like a 1-day thing
Yeah,
or like
absolutely.
like a few hours. Like, but in India, I have friends who don't have. Who do have dogs, but they don't do all that. They leave the dog and go. Like, so is it? Do you think it's the rules that are making people, be more considerate, or like
People
what is
actually love their dogs.
It's a bit of everything, honestly.
Okay.
Because see, if there are rules and regulations enforced, obviously people will listen and they'll actually like get some sense into their head. Because around 8 out of 10 people in India, they still associate the word dog with an animal outside the house, and that's the treatment they will give.
Okay.
Like you would have seen like small kids pelting stones at dogs, or they would be
Yeah.
throwing so many things. They'll chase away the dogs. So they don't really account for these stray dogs as a part of their locality. There are municipal level rules. I can just tell you for context of Bangalore and Karnataka, but I'm not sure about pan India. there are rules that every municipal corporation of every area, they need to take care of the strays over there in their localities, like, neutering them or, vaccinating them or things like that. So that fundamental basic care they need to handle. So there are dog catchers they will deploy, and they will like target like groups of dogs here and there, territories of dogs, and then they like they sterilize them, or for the more scientific word is neuter over here, and they update them with all of their shots and vaccines, so that even if it attacks somebody, no one's infected, and even the dog will not catch diseases later. So if you all have observed stray dogs in India, there's like a cut ear.
Yeah.
That's to signify that they have been neutered.
Yeah, I know. Someone comes, takes them and go somewhere, and then they come back with a cut ear.
Yeah. So they basically take them to the veterinarian or the local vet hospital, and they do it. Yeah.
So one thing I don't understand is, if they are taking them to the vet, why do they release the stray dogs again into the streets? Because I feel they're treated badly, which obviously we have heard so many stories about.
Yeah.
In the US, I don't see any stray dogs, right? So I'm sure that they're sheltered somewhere.
Yeah.
So why can't we do the same in India?
So the problem is, it's about people's sentiment towards like stray animals, because there are far more stray animals in India than pedigree animals. So pedigree here is like the breeded dogs, like the German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, etc., etc.
I thought it was a food thing.
That's the fancy food in India.
So pedigree is named after the category of dogs.
Oh. So only those dogs can eat that?
No.
No. Okay.
It's like, so again, it's associated with brand recall.
You don't eat only Indian food, no? You eat all categories.
Fine.
Yeah. So it's overall the sentiment that the Indian society has. So since the sentiment is not great, everybody associates stray dogs with like, their menaces and everything. But the truth is, they are kept hungry by everybody. That's why they become aggressive. They are not inherently aggressive. They're sweethearts. You keep them well fed. You keep them well groomed. You take care of them. You ensure their safety as a locality, as a community. They will not harm you. The stray dogs near my house, there are like 3-4 of them. They are like brothers by choice. They just like keep hanging out, and they come to like certain houses where they know that they get food at night. So they just come, they eat, and they go sleep. When their stomachs are full now, they just sleep peacefully. They don't resort to like other activities. When we humans are hangry, we yell, we scream, and we do things. But dogs, they have no other place to vent. So they end up just becoming ferocious, or it'll start chasing vehicles or something like that. So
chasing vehicles. Yeah. Yeah. This is such a stark contrast when it comes to the US.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The way the dogs are treated there and here, it's complete opposite. Here they're living their life, all the dogs, and so many families actually have dogs. If I've seen, I don't know, maybe because in the US people are in general lonely.
Oh yeah, very.
Because in India everyone like lives as a community, right?
Absolutely.
So you know your neighbor and all that.
Yeah.
Here no one really knows anyone.
That's
so I think that's also a reason why people have pets.
Yeah. Also, along with that, is for mental health purposes, because service animals and other like psychiatric help animals, they're very. So it's a real thing to have like dogs be trained with things like this. So it's a part of treatment over here for like general mental health or any kind of care, or if you're like if you've had panic attacks before, if you're like a very anxious person and it's extreme, one of the ways that they treat you is recommending you to adopt or get a service animal or a service dog.
There's also that pet therapy. Have you or therapy dogs or something?
Yeah, therapy dogs. Yeah.
I have one doubt.
Yes.
So you give the dogs therapy, they give you the therapy.
No, they help with. Because that entire experience is so joyful, I think you're so positive just being there with the dogs. You just forget about all the problems that you have.
Good one. Good one, KST.
No, I said user experience, UX. That's the whole thing.
This is this is basically UX.
True.
Yeah.
Got it. But
Yeah.
Pet insurance and all that. Right?
Yep,
Here.
there is pet insurance, and this can depend. This is different for dogs and cats too, by the way.
What is different? Pet insurance.
Yeah,
Isn't pet insurance common? Like
apparently not, because when I was
okay.
doing some digging as well, the cases. I mean, obviously, dogs and cats are like treated differently. They obviously have like they're different animals, so obviously the premium costs are like it differs by a good $20 from what I just read up about.
Okay, I see. And companies offer this, by the way.
what pet insurance?
Yes, you can add it.
Yeah.
along
I
the
should
health
have a
benefits.
pet, no?
You said you are a pet. No, so add it. Bro. Instead of health insurance, get pet insurance.
True.
Then ask a sugar mom.
She should get a pet insurance.
Actually, she should get.
Yeah, not
correct.
me.
You just eat pedigree.
So, let's say 5 years down the line, what do you see yourself with like dogs, kids, or just dogs? Do you know this DINK concept?
Yep. Dual
So-
income, no kids.
Oh yeah, you know this because I
Yes.
remember that. Yeah, and then what about DINK with D?
Dink with D. That would be the most
Dinged.
dink.
No, actually, no, can't be dinged. Correct.
Dinked.
Dinged.
Dinked.
Yeah. So that would be the most ideal case scenario.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm just open to like one kid, one dog, something like that, so that the kid can grow up with a best friend. So that's something I'll be open to.
So you're not calling your fiance dog, right?
No. No. But I'm like slowly getting him used to dogs around him. So whenever we go outside or whenever we walk in downtown or something, and there are like so many dogs around, I make sure to spend a few minutes, go pet them, and I drag even him along so that he's also like used to how it makes him feel.
If you get a pet, right?
Huh?
Will you have time for it? What does a typical day for a UI UX designer look like?
Oh my God, this really depends. If you're working remote, you will obviously have time with the dog, so good for you there.
Okay.
But if you work hybrid, you may have to ensure your pet is taken care of when you're not at home. That is when you're going like 2-3 days a week to office. Otherwise, if your co-working space or your office space is pet friendly, you can bring your pet with you. I know that Amazon is super pet friendly. I see a couple of my friends in my circles on Instagram, they keep putting their stories, like some 5-6 dogs will be hanging out in one cubicle. I'm like, it's super cute to see. And otherwise, if going back to KST's point, what about a dink or a dinked setup? So the parents make sure that at least one of them is around the dog most of the time.
Okay.
One of the parent works from home, or one parent like steps out, because you can't leave the dog alone after a point. And also one more thing that I've seen couples with a dinked setup is that they train the dog to stay alone for like a good 10 to 11 hours, like slowly, incrementally they train. And also there are a bunch of devices to keep your dog entertained. There's like a nanny cam where you can keep watching over your dog. And if your dog is like around the area and is doing some sort of mischief, or if your dog like misses you or something like that, and if it's in front of the nanny cam, it spews out a treat so that he can eat it.
That treat thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Can
fancy
I talk
stuff.
to the dog through that as well?
Yes, there's also stuff to talk to your dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's there. So because of like interventions like this, it's super easy to adopt a dog here, but obviously it comes with expenses as well. All of these things are expensive.
Yeah.
And state by state laws in the US differ for how they treat dogs. I'm not sure what states they are, but most states in the US still view your dog as your property, and they don't elevate the status.
Okay.
I think it is Illinois, Alaska, and California. I think these, from what I know, they have special laws for your pets. Like, for example, if a couple breaks up or if they get divorced, there's like pet custody for that as well. There are some provisions for that
Crazy.
too. And what else? There's obviously pet insurance. And also when you're staying at home, if it's like a building that you're staying in, like here, you need to pay a pet deposit as well. It's anywhere between $200 to $500. And there are restrictions about the size of the dogs you need to keep as well. So if it's like a cramped up apartment, you can't really keep huge dogs like golden retrievers or Saint Bernards or anything like that, or Great
Dog
Danes
needs
or
space,
anything like that.
basically, right?
Basically, that's why you see a lot of like tiny toy breeds, or you see like tiny dogs like, Chihuahuas or,
Right.
Cavapoos or mini cockatoos or something like that. So that's why you see a
Do
lot
you
of them.
understand all these breeds just by looking at it? I've always had that problem. Because I don't understand breeds.
I still don't know the basic breed.
I know only golden retriever and what is that? Doberman.
I don't.
The big one, the brown and black
Yeah,
patches.
and there's the Dalmatian.
The classic
that
101
a breed?
Dalmatians. Is it from that?
Yeah,
See
yeah.
again,
Nice.
I don't know. Are these like breed names? Like
Even I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm just telling some names, hoping it's a breed.
okay.
Yeah. So obviously, like I do not know the exact etymology behind the names of the breeds, but let's say golden retriever, for example. It's a Scottish breed. I just found out that. So golden because their hair is super golden, like it's very shiny and everything. They have a very physically striking coat, so golden there. And retriever because apparently back in the day they were bred for like retrieving carcass or something like that when people go hunting. So terriers probably go attack the prey, and after the prey is attacked, the golden retriever goes, sniffs around, and then gets that back to
I see, okay.
the person who the dog belongs to.
So there's actually some thought behind each
Yeah.
of these names.
Simply they want keep pedigree and all.
And
Is pedigree a breed? No.
no, pedigree is not a breed. So pedigree is just an umbrella term used for like
Okay.
distinguishing it as like a purebred dog or something like
Okay.
that.
Just to wrap up the podcast, okay?
Uh-huh.
For someone who's into UI UX design,
Sure.
I think they would want to know
Sure.
how someone would get into this field.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in India right now, right?
Uh-huh.
So how did you even pursue this? Is this something that you're interested in? Do you need to have creativity for this? So
Mm-hmm.
what's the background that you need?
So everyone's story is different, and I started off with the idea of like I always did drawings as a kid. I always did like weird designs. I always looked at advertisements and billboards and panels and everything. So I was very visually interested. Like I kept thinking as a high school kid, is there some sort of a career that I can pursue, that I can just do all of this? I was like, obviously I was in 9th grade. I was very young and impressionable. So I was still not sure. And that's when my aunt told me there is a career called design. It's really picking up. There's tons of demand for it. And since she told this to my mom, since your daughter is so artistically inclined, why doesn't she pursue a career here? So I'm like, okay, I was interested for a while. And when I was in 8th or 9th grade, I ditched the idea of doing medicine or engineering. Like I was very clear from the get-go that I wouldn't do any of this. Because blood makes me faint. I'm sorry.
She has
Yeah.
clarity, bro. Clarity was there
know.
in 8th standard, 9th
Simply we
standard.
did engineering, we
Yeah.
don't know.
What were you doing in 8th standard, 9th standard?
Standard. You know what I was doing? I was playing that pen fight.
Pen fight, yeah, with
Oh,
ink
sharp
pen.
no
Ink pen will
fight.
win
Pen,
always.
Yeah. And that book cricket, all that stuff.
Hand cricket, bro. What is book cricket?
Book cricket. Oh, hand cricket also. This book cricket.
Hand cricket championship used to be there.
Sure.
Oh, did you win?
I think I won once. I think there was a time where
That's good.
went like 450, 460. The score was like,
Oh, ho, ho.
Oh.
like
what
you
is-
could just read the bowler.
So, coming back to UI UX design.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, creativity,
Yeah.
right? So, you had creativity, so you pursued it and all that.
Yeah.
And then you came to the US. Okay. Would you say the career is lucrative and, someone should pursue it? Are there enough opportunities in this field?
Definitely, because see, if you compare India and the US for design, India is still an emerging market. So, especially now in the last 2-3 years, with tons of startups opening up, all of them are like slowly placing emphasis on design. So, the first association that people have with design in India is either like brands or fashion. So, a lot of people thought that I was a fashion designer because they didn't know what I did. So, that's why one thing I like about the US is that I don't have to tell more people what I do. Everyone knows what I do. But in India, I need to like convince people that my job is a real job. And yeah.
I mean, even for someone like we are in the software industry or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So tech industry,
Uh-huh.
right? We obviously know that these jobs exist,
Yeah.
but I think we are just so we don't really understand what happens in that industry. We're so averse to it.
I mean, I have better clarity now.
Now, obviously, we have better clarity. That was also the reason behind this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of Indians, should probably look at this and consider this as a career opportunity.
Yeah, because see, India is there's such a rich heritage in India. There's like so many things like textiles, art, performing arts. There's so much of, capital that we have, like intangible capital that we have. We should like really look back at our roots and take inspiration of design. Like one of the earliest examples of like design in India, it's like in undivided India before the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa civilizations, it was so immaculately designed. Everything was so systematically done. And also Nalanda University, like before you enter the university campus or you enter a room or something, there's like a stream of water flowing. So, and then the doors were slightly smaller. So basically what you need to do is like before entering the school or the university area, you should like dip your feet in water and then go inside. That means you're cleaning your feet and also like you're bowing down and slightly entering because you respect it. Education is equivalent to like God or something like that. So that's like one of the earliest examples of design in India. And
architecture. So whatever you said does that come under architecture?
I mean, the actual construction of the building, yes, architecture, but the experiences surrounding it is design.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like you can
design
something
Yeah.
and purpose it for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Like you're designing something for some purpose. So that is the whole concept of design, like how you do it. But architecture, I think it's the same. I don't know.
I mean, I
No, it's
feel
not the same.
UI designer
Yeah.
who is interested in buildings is an architect. Would you say that?
You're kind of there. I wouldn't entirely agree or entirely disagree, but that's one way to put it.
Okay. I feel like we'll offend their entire community.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously, like, so again, like there are different fields of design, and
Right.
you need to have creativity, of course. That's a good place to start. But slowly, as in when you study or work in design, your definition of design changes. Like it's not just about like, art, fancy art, or like animation styles or visual styles. There's obviously more to design than that. Like, for example, if you're an interior designer, you don't just like design houses like this. You add like different ergonomic features, like probably if you're designing a house or a space for somebody who's differently abled, you keep like everything in reach. All of the cabinets
Right.
are like shorter and everything. Or if you're like designing a house in an earthquake prone area, you source materials, and also there are obviously guidelines that are set up, like there should be a few stories high and not too high. You can't practically build a skyscraper in the Bay Area.
Right.
So it's those things. So these nuances is where design comes in. And also if you go to the industrial side, there is tangible product design and there's technically complex product design too. Like, for example, a technically complex product is like a doll that talks back to you or something like that. And there's like a soft toy, and then if you press it, there's a battery or some sort of a machine that gets activated. That's when it talks to you. So that's a technically complex product.
Yeah.
So that's industrial. And then there is animation design, where you've seen all of these famous Disney movies. They started off as an animation studio, but they now became a brand with so many movies. Animation is much more tedious. Like you need to like draw for every frame, and each frame is like 1 second in a minute. If you need to make a short film for like 2 minutes in animation form, you're supposed to sketch 60 sketches in 1 minute. So totally you have to do 120 sketches if it's a 2-minute film.
And this is all part of the same industry. Like, is there an umbrella term for this? Like,
it's just design. So at least when I was studying design, there were like 3 distinctions: visual design, industrial design, communication design, and fashion design. So industrial design had all of this: transportation design, or interiors design, or space design, or retail and exhibition design, or technical product design.
and you are in technical product design?
Not really. I am not in technical product design. I started off as a communication designer because under communication design, there's visual design that comes in, like graphic design. I started off as a graphic designer, and then I pivoted to UX.
So UI UX is not specific to tech. It can be anything.
Yeah, UI UX, it's the next best thing that UI UX people associate with in the Bay Area is tech. Like here it's so technically forward. Like if you're a UI UX designer in any company here, you are almost always associated as tech. And UI UX design, it's like it's not just like for screens you're designing. You're designing for like other devices. You're designing ecosystems. You're designing the interaction experience. Like ecosystem as in like if it's again back to the client that I work with, they deal with biowearables for type 1 diabetes patients. There's an ecosystem between your insulin pump, your phone, and your laptop. So you're designing a seamless experience across all of them. So this is still tech.
It's like the Apple ecosystem as well.
That
like you buy a watch, you have a phone, it's connected.
Yeah.
And then you have AirPods, all connected. Like, I mean, yeah.
That's brilliant. Like if you see Apple, you open AirPods, it shows up on all your devices.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a design thing, right?
Yeah.
That's the user experience thing.
And also you need to be hyper aware of your surroundings if you want to get into the field of design. Like you need to be constantly observing things around you. And the term UX is user experience. You need to understand how the human being functions.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's a major part. Like,
yeah, exactly.
especially all the social media apps, I think they study user, patterns, try to keep you hooked on the app.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
That's why UX research is such a huge field. And I'm seeing so many job openings right now for UX research because people are like trying to innovate existing products, or they're trying to do something new.
Right.
Because you can't really see, it's not very financially feasible for every company to reinvent the wheel about their product. They just need to have a research team, UX research team, or a UX user research team, user experience research team. You need to just have them so that they study, they conduct the studies on behalf of you. There are so many methods that they use. They have in-depth interviews. There are so many activities that they do.
Do you actually care about our well-being when you think
yeah,
about? I feel like
definitely.
they don't because of Instagram, like because we're hooked onto that app for hours.
Yeah,
together.
that. See, when it comes to like
So-
social media app usage patterns, I believe that Instagram is capitalizing on your attention span. It is
Yeah.
capitalizing on your sleep,
Yeah.
and it is capitalizing on your concentration power as well.
Exactly. I really would like some pop-up to come up saying that, hey, you used too much, please.
There
it
is
comes no.
there is a
What?
feature.
I mean, not by Instagram, I guess. I think Apple has it, or any phone you can set limit
You
to the
can
app.
set some timer. No,
Yeah.
that does not help. You just dismiss it. Actually, I think even if Instagram did that,
I don't know if you've
Yeah, even if Instagram said, like, bro, you used a lot of me today, like,
just shut up and say
you'll
enough
be
of
like,
reels.
ignore. Like,
Yeah, I guess now that she has explained to us with all these examples, we understand what UI UX is. So it's time to wrap up this episode. And before we wrap up, I just want to share an interesting observation. So we post our reels to YouTube and Instagram, right?
okay, yeah.
I saw that on YouTube. If I look into the analytics, there are people who are ending up on our videos after searching Nikhil Kamath's podcast. Do you know who Nikhil Kamath is?
I think I do.
the
yeah.
founder of Zerodha.
Yeah, he's the Zerodha founder, right?
Yeah.
The stockbroker app.
Yes.
So people think it's his podcast. They're ending up on the wrong Kamath, basically. So, yeah, I mean, sorry guys, you have found the wrong Kamath, but I hope this podcast has been as amazing as we think it is. Yeah, basically said it's the number one podcast in Silicon Valley.
Which Silicon Valley you're not telling? There's a
Which-
Bangalore Silicon Valley also.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think both. I think
Silicon
our
Valley is a
audience
state of mind, guys.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
state
Yeah,
of mind.
that's true. It's a state of mind. That's what he said.
Even in Africa, there can be Silicon Valley of their own. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. And until then, please subscribe to us. Peace.
Peace.